Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
All right. Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing? It's 11 o'clock p.m. right now in New York. Happy to share stuff that we've been working on at Konstellation. I'll go through some of the stuff that's more recent, stuff that we've been working on, things that are going to be coming in the coming weeks. Then I'll pass it over to Tosh to talk about our marketing plans, and then we'll get to the Q&A to kind of summarize. So this should be briefer than the other ones, but as always, you can always submit questions so that we can address them either on our next AMA or we can address them, real time through our community managers. So a lot of things that we've been working on. Some of the stuff that we mentioned previously was the rebrand. We've been working on the rebrand and kind of revitalizing Konstellation and its ecosystem. As you all know, a network is only as strong as its ecosystem, and the vision for Konstellation has once again, been more crystallized, but also expanded a bit. Right. So now we're talking about capital markets. DeFi is one tool right now that we have that we use smart contracts in order to automate financial transactions. But in actuality, the marketplace needs to get much larger. It needs to become much more efficient. And different types of instruments and different types of products that exist across different protocols need to coexist in harmony. And that's what we're building at Konstellation. That was always the vision, trying to make capital flow the most efficiently from where it is to where it needs to go. And right now, a lot of the tools that are relevant for it are being built real time, right? As you guys probably already know, Cosmos SDK or blockchains that are built on Cosmos SDK are not smart contract native. So it is not a smart contract native chain. However, it is the most conducive to inter-blockchain operability. So blockchain interoperability, rather. And, that's what we've been building toward. And a lot of the build out that we've been doing is also because it's not smart contract native, we have to create the smart contracts on top of the network, which is really cool. So we have some really cool stuff coming out related to that. But quickly, back to the rebrand again. We've jump-started the white paper. We took it with a fresh eye, new technology, new build out, update on the ecosystem, but we've coined that as the light paper. It's going to be much lighter. It's going to be more relevant. It's going to be talking about the specific tools and use cases of the ecosystem in and of itself. And they're all tied to capital markets. They're tied to investment opportunities. They're tied to bridging different opportunities together, or even the creation of different portfolios. So all of these ecosystem uses are going to be directly tied to the Konstellation Network's original vision and ongoing vision. And they're all going to jumpstart the dark ecosystem as well. So we're really excited about that. So that's going to be coming on site within a week. You guys are going to see the updated document there. Technical build out stuff. I think I briefly mentioned one thing. A lot of the work that we're doing right now is building smart contracts on WASM, which is the modules that we need to build on for Cosmos SDK based blockchains. That's what we're building for Konstellation. So we have to build these modules that basically allow the chain to operate a smart contract because it's not smart contract native. Our developers have been doing an awesome job, and we're adding more developers to the team to help us move that forward. We've been working on the blockchain explorer, so that's been in testing phase as we get much closer to mainnet launch right now. The other things that we've been working on are the token itself. So a lot of technical work that we've been doing is leading up to listing. It's leading up to more liquidity. It's leading up to the build out of the community, making it much larger, making it much more accessible. And as you guys already know, the current token that's available on market is a Binance chain-based token. It was a token that basically replaced the NEM chain and is not native to Konstellation. But we did think that the Binance ecosystem would be very conducive, that they would do a lot of the similar community building that we did, which is why we had made the decision to launch Dark24B, mint and issue Dark24B in lieu of NEM. As we approach listing, and as you guys already know, so Binance Chain also created Binance Smart Chain. So fun fact there, Binance Chain was also a fork of Tendermint, which powers Cosmos SDK. So Binance actually had the same technology choice that we did. The issue, once again, that Binance Chain had is that it does not have smart contracts on it. So what they ended up doing was they created Binance Smart Chain, which is what powers PancakeSwap, et cetera. So that allows for the DeFi element of Binance. We're not forking, we're building a smart contract natively on Konstellation Network. So what ended up happening was we took a look at the contracts that were issued for Dark 24B, and it became necessary that we would need to actually use Binance Smart Chain token in order to be listed, right? In order to go for the liquidity provision, which means that we have to take a couple of steps. And we apologize in advance that you guys have to do this, but that's another part that we are building very heavily right now, is to make it as seamless as possible. Will be a Binance Smart Chain swap. So you're going to get, the steps will be outlaid in more detail, but there will be an airdrop of new supported Binance Chain tokens, which then needs to get swapped into Binance Smart Chain to do smart contract stuff. That's all going to be automatic. The swap will be manual, so you guys can do it on the site. We're going to have a portal that you can do it in. And then we're going to open up a bridge to the native mainnet once the mainnet is live. So that's going to allow you to swap in and out. All of the ecosystem functions that we're building, like synthetic asset trading. I think we talked about that briefly previously. We're really close. We're super close, which means we're probably going to want to use the native version versus just swapping back and forth and paying gas fees. So that's a lot of the work that we've been doing right now. Like I said, we've been focused on hiring developers to expand our Rust capabilities. So if you guys know anybody in Rust that wants to work with us, please feel free to let us know. We're also working on some really cool partnerships. I can't name, but as you read the light paper when you get it, you'll probably get some guesses as to who we're working with, and you guys will be pretty excited about that. Without too many, without naming names, I guess it's one of the blockchains that are considered most efficient right now. It's very popular, but we are thinking about potential partnerships there on how we can create a more efficient capital bridge between different ecosystems that's conducive for everybody. It's a win-win. So we're really, really happy about that. We've been doing a lot of build out on VegaX, which is an ecosystem play as well. Like I said, there's going to be a direct use case for Dark in VegaX. So mark my words, that's coming. If you already have crypto assets and you want to put them to work, obviously you should definitely check out VegaX because we probably have the highest APY in the market right now. That part of the build out is also a different kind of development angle that we have to spend a lot of time on and have like a unique development talent, which is kind of tying of blockchain with more traditional software and more traditional build outs. So that's where we're doing a lot of the hiring as well. In terms of what the rest of kind of the year holds for us broadly, we're going to come out with more specific information on that. It's going to be liquidity of Dark, like generally speaking. It's going to be upgrading the interfaces that allow you to interact with Dark as well as interact with the rest of the ecosystem. So that's also coming as well. That's where we're going to be spending a lot of time on the build. And of course, we're going to be doing that in addition to doing the marketing and the communications build out of the community. So with that, I will pass it over to Tosh to talk about our plans for that.
Yeah, so as some folks may have noticed, we are going through rebrand or updated branding for Konstellation, which we think, and to Sang's earlier point, is all about updated vision of how we see things coming to life a bit more granularly now that we see this world of blockchain for financial services and for digital assets, a lot of the infrastructure being built right now. So as we continue to march towards that mission, you'll start to see a lot of this come through on our social channels. So some of you already have commented on seeing our Facebook and our Twitter. We're starting to update all of our channels and go through kind of kicking off or restarting our social media and engaging there. So a lot of the comms that you'll see there will be really focused around our updated kind of brand identity, which is around creating infrastructure for DeFi capital markets. And this is really important because a lot of these tools are being built very fragmented. It's being built very fragmentedly, if that's a proper word. And there really needs a need of something that brings things together. And we think that we'll be able to do that with a lot of the cool features and opportunities that we really see in the space with the way that we are building and the way that our team has been approaching development. So I say all that to say, again, thanks for all of the patience and the support as we've continued to build. We know things have been slower than folks have expected, but we do think that we've been building in the right manner to really support what we think is a really big opportunity for Konstellation Network and really the ecosystem for Dark, which is key and something that you guys are very, very interested in, of course, and as are we, in terms of really providing liquidity options and ways for you guys to get value and hopefully continue to stay with us and support our project and continue to support the network as we continue to develop some of these key solutions that will create some efficiencies for the future of DeFi capital markets. So really our mission is going to be to continue to build a backbone for decentralized capital markets to allow for the efficient and democratized movement of capital and investments. So we're really talking about how we can build that infrastructure to support all of this. And it is a grand vision, but we think between what we're building, partners in the space that are also building, and potential strategic partnerships that we'll be able to announce a bit later, that we can accomplish this. And we can definitely accomplish this with support. So again, thank you guys for continuing to be there with us. So a lot of the things that you'll see come to life, and some of this, as Sang mentioned, with all of the kind of like swap features and the steps that need to happen there, we'll document all of that in easy to understand ways, and we'll post that through our Medium. We'll also provide some troubleshooting support and tech support for anything as well, via Telegram and via our emails. So info@konstellation.tech is a consistent place to reach us if you have any issues, and also reaching out through Telegram in terms of as we start to launch some of that stuff. So we have some of the content that we're going to release. You guys have already seen in the beginning of August, I believe, we launched some updated roadmap materials for both Q3 and Q4. So you can take a look at that on Medium as well. And what we owe to you guys coming up as we get closer to the end of Q3 is an update on how things are going for Q3 development and how our progress has moved towards some of the updates for both Dark Wallet, our Blockchain Explorer, and even some of the teasers that we put out there for Alchemy that you guys can read more about. So we have a bunch of steps that we have to take on the marketing side that we're starting to approach. One was obviously the rebranding, and we actually have some specific content we'll release about that in terms of what exactly we did. Some of the changes are subtle, some are a bit more in your face, so you'll see some of that there. And as we start to socialize that a bit more and start pushing more of our social media and engaging with folks, we also have a website release that we are going to share with you guys for Konstellation that really does a better job of talking about the Dark ecosystem and how we can continue to support that and what we're planning to do to continue to support that from Konstellation's end. And also we have updated roadmap materials to share with you as well. So we have pretty much a bunch of phases that we need to get through. And we're in this intro phase where we're about to kick off a lot more of the marketing support. With that being said, there will be more marketing support on a road to DEX kind of initiative, as we have a firmer stake in the ground as to when we're going to list on some of the exchanges that we discussed before. We'll actually have marketing campaigns to support that ramp up. So we'll be sure to share that. But of course, we want to get all of these new branding elements and a lot of the social media foundation set out there to restart that a bit more before we kick that off. But we're close, so that's really great. And we're very close on the product end as well, with a lot of the swap features and functionality that we need to support some of these next steps for DEX listings. I'll also mention a teaser out here. We have a cool sports sponsorship to a degree that we're going to announce. Joris has teased a bit of it in the chat. We'll talk a bit more about that when it's official. It should be official soon, but we have some cool things to share there, which we think is just going to continue to kind of like help put the stamp of Bitcoin everywhere and open eyes and doors for, you know, blockchain for finance and what we are doing for Konstellation and what we're creating for the Dark ecosystem. And I think those are kind of our major elements there. We have some press releases that'll go roll out about some new features that we're also building, along with some new news specific to what's happening with Konstellation. So I think that is what we can look forward to for the balance of the year. A lot more news, a lot more content, and really trying to ramp up both our social media and our Telegram and our other channels to make sure you guys are getting all of the most up-to-date information, and that you are a part of the build as we continue to release some of these things, because this has been a long awaited thing for much of the community. So we're excited to be able to deliver upon some of these things that we have been talking about for some time. Cool. All right.
Okay.
So
I guess just a couple of things on the Q&A then, as we kind of go into that. You kind of talked about the airdrop as well. So what we're doing there, it's September. It will happen in September in terms of listing. The specific date will be coming because we want to give everyone the opportunity for the swap, and we are also releasing the first use case of Dark Native. So we're going to do an issuance event, a minting event for the native token as well. So there's going to be a couple of things happening in September, but the listing will also occur on Pancake in September. The specific date we'll know as soon as the airdrop happens, so that we can tell how many people are swapping, and if the tools are working correctly, and then we'll be able to set a proper date. But that's all being prepped already. It's already prepped. We're getting ready to go. The right tokens need to be out there. The big thing after, and all of these details will be included in the overview of how this works. The Dark 24B will no longer be supported. So that's not going to be the trading token. And that's just kind of background for everybody here. How you get to the new token will be super streamlined, should be super easy. So I'm not too worried about that. I think in terms of what we plan on doing after that, we're going to keep looking for other, liquidity options, right? But more importantly, we want native use cases as well, so that, the value appreciates, and, everyone can have a direct contribution into the ecosystem and a direct contribution to the network, right? So we're as focused on liquidity as we are on the project, but much more on the project because we want people to be using Dark. You want people to be using Dark too. So definitely evangelize on that side. The other thing that I have a Q&A for everybody here who's watching and listening is, if you guys have like feature ideas, you guys are on the ground as well. So if you guys have feature ideas or like frustrations with certain things in the industry as to like, I wish this was a little bit better, I wish that was a little bit better, feel free to make those suggestions. I think those are going to be really helpful for us as we build out more, and be nice to our CMs, please, as humanly possible. All right.
And okay, another question here is the release of the latest white paper. So transparently, it's done. We just need to let it out there. So we were hoping that we were going to release the new website with all of that, but we may just release it with the current website so you guys can have access to it, and then we'll just update it by the time that we release the new website, which shouldn't be too far from now. So we'll get that up to you guys, and then we'll make sure it's shared through Telegram as well. And then there's going to be like a short summary of the updates on Medium, which will also point to the full light paper. So there'll be a few ways for you guys to get the gist of some of the updates, and then access the actual light paper in itself. And tell us what you think. Tell us your thoughts about it. We'll gladly take comments. We'll have discussions about it. So totally give us your thoughts, and let us know what you think about some of the ecosystem plays that we're working on.
Yep. Cool. There was one other thing that I did want to mention. I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I mean, Vega X is available for use. The discounts that will be applied tied to Vega X will go to Dark holders. So think about that in deciding like what you guys want to do. And then we are also already thinking about how to create more staking incentives on the native network. So think about that as well. I know everybody's been waiting for liquidity, but I think there are really exciting opportunities that are coming that are going to jumpstart the Dark ecosystem. So pay close attention and definitely help us promote.
Cool. Okay, and then I know in terms of next steps and the next time that we will all talk with you guys, we have our next AMA set for October 27th. If there's any big news that we need to release before that, we may do like an impromptu one where we can hop on YouTube and just say, what's going on and give you some of those updates. But by October 27th, I think we'll have a lot more to share with you guys, especially as it pertains to the feature releases that we have going on, more updates on Konstellation network development, as well as exchange type news, which we should have more updates on kind of the progress of things at that point, because we should be off to the races by the time that we have our AMA on October 27th.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And we'll confirm the time for that one. Yeah, we'll confirm the time as well. Okay. It may be on ET or it might be, we'll confirm it through the regular channels on ET or KT, but we'll let you guys know. All right, let me check and see if anybody put anything. Okay, I think we're good on the chat.
Okay.
All right, great. All right, guys. Cool. So thanks for taking the time to take a listen. For those who joined us on YouTube and Zoom, thanks for joining. As always, reach out to us Q&A form in the Telegram chat, or shoot us an email at info@konstellation.tech. And we will get back to you there. Someone from the team will definitely get back to you.
All right, cool. All right, thanks,
October
everybody.
October 27th. See you guys then.
October 27th. See you later.